Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jonny Bowden, and I'm sitting here with my friend Chef Gerard Viverito, one of my favorite chefs in the world, and today we're going to bust some myths about cooking oils. And I really love the chance to talk to a chef about this, because usually we approach this stuff in terms of nutrition, which oils are good, which oils are bad, but it's really interesting to talk to you to find out which ones are good for cooking and good for frying and good for sauteing, and which ones we should just use to drizzle. So I really want to get into the myths about cooking oils and which ones are good and which ones are bad. So I've lined all these up here. I want to get your take on them. I'll give you my take on them. And let's just start with one of the ones that everybody tells us to eat all the time, the corn oils and the vegetable oils. What's your take on that? Do you ever use this stuff? What do you think?
I try not to. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I've never seen them used in kitchens. I mean, most people out there, if they go into a restaurant and there's a salad dressing on the menu and it was made in the restaurant, 99 to 97% chance it was made with this. This is cheap, it's versatile, it has no flavor. It can be used for cooking in restaurants. They use it in salad dressings. You can use it to lubricate the wheels on the dolly when it's...
That's a very good. It's probably the best use for it, folks. And the reason that I hate this stuff is because this is not only is it highly processed, so that there's nothing that possibly remains in there that could possibly be useful to the human body, but not only that, it is very high in what we call omega-6 fats. Now, omega-6 fats aren't necessarily bad by themselves. The problem is when we eat too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s, we set ourselves up for inflammation. That is the trifecta of inflammatory response. High omega-6, low omega-3s. And this stuff is in just about every processed food in the world. It's just cheap, junky vegetable oil. It's not good for us. As far as I'm concerned, it's a great lubricant for train wheels, as you say.
Pay now or pay later. Do you want to pay for a higher quality oil? Do you want to pay the doctor later on in life? But yeah, sadly, you know, the largest segment in the dining industry tends to be the quick service casual and the fast foods, and this is what's used.
Exactly. So let's talk about some of the lesser known oils, or the oils that many people have a lot of misconceptions about. I'm thinking particularly some of the saturated fats. We're going to talk about palm oil, coconut oil. I even brought some actual, real, rendered lard. And this is not Crisco, folks. This is the stuff from the farmer's market. This is the real deal. And I want to get your take on that. So let's talk about some of the oils. Let's just start with palm oil.
Palm oil, I mean, it used to be more of a specialty oil in this country. You know, worldwide, if I'm not mistaken, right now it's the largest consumed oil on the planet. You know, most people... We're very, I don't know, ethnocentric, egocentric as Americans, and we think about, well, you know, corn being subsidized in Nebraska, and, you know, the whole Midwest is all centered on corn, and that's all we look at. We don't realize that soybean oil and palm oil are the two biggest players on the planet. But look at, I mean, just looking straight down the line, you've got a dark sesame oil and you got a dark palm oil, and all of a sudden people are going to be thinking, uh-oh, there's something special about that.
Well, there is.
You and I know that it's special, but someone like, there's got to be a specific use for it. And I try to dispel the myth. No, I mean, that red comes from all the carotenoids and the vitamin A, the vitamin E, you know, the brain health and cardiovascular health. It's a lovely oil. It's got a rich, buttery flavor. You can go so high on the heat factor. I mean, as a chef, I look at these as smoke point. You know, I like to cook as quickly into the pan and out of the pan as possible. How fast can I get it on the grill and off the grill? And I use really high heat. I want to sear in the flavors. I want to lock in the nutrients. I don't want to dry out my food. Excellent choice for it.
Well, this is one of the reasons that it drives me absolutely nuts that we made this switch from, say, lard and some of the saturated fats to canola oil, which actually does not stand up to high heat well at all. And when it is processed with high heat, the way it is at almost every single fast food restaurants, and they use it over and over, and they reheat and reheat, it forms carcinogenic compounds and trans fats. This is the worst oil to use for frying. The best oils are the saturated fats, the lards and the coconut oils and the palm oils, because they stand up beautifully to heat, and they don't form any really negative compounds that are bad for our bodies.
I mean, we're talking about oils that have been used, you know, old world Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa. I mean, you're a doctor. Where do you see heart disease coming from? What countries? Good old USA.
We find, and let's not even, well, I guess we should mention, all corn in the United States is not organic, is GMO. Now, we could talk for hours on that.
That's a whole other piece there.
It's a whole other piece there, but I know a lot of people are concerned, I think rightfully so, about the source of foods that are GMO, like soybeans and corn. And as far as I'm concerned, we don't need this stuff. And we could do a very good job, I think, I'm asking you now, of cooking and flavoring with some of these healthier oils. We brought some grapeseed oil. It's not my favorite one. I love olive oil, macadamia nut oil, really high in omega-9s.
You know, one thing that I need to share with people is, you know what, yes, these oils on this side may be a little bit more money, but the ones, you use less of them. So although, yes, this container may hypothetically be twice as much as this container, you're using half as much of it. So technically, it winds up being the same cost. It's got a better flavor profile. It's got a richer mouthfeel. It's got more nutrients. You have that omega-3 and 6 balance. I mean, coconut oil, you know, if you like the flavor, I think it's fabulous. It has so many uses.
And it's antimicrobial. It's got fatty acids like lauric acid and caprylic acid that help fight microbes and viruses and bacteria. These are really healthy oils right here. This side, not so much.
I mean, I always say, I love when I'm at home and I want to make some fresh popcorn, take the popcorn, put a little bit of this in the pan. You don't need the salt. You have all that extra flavor. It's like you're sitting in the tropics eating tropical popcorn. Or, you know, lard, don't even get me started. I may just actually, you know,
you want to just put that on a cracker?
You know, cracker, spread it on some toast, you know, fry up a little bit in that. It's just, you can buy deodorized, you know, if you don't like the strong aroma or, you know, lucky you get the natural stuff at the farmer's market, probably from pasture-raised pigs, so they have much better nutritional profiles behind them.
But it's kind of an uphill battle to kind of re-educate the public about this stuff. We have demonized these fats, palm oil and coconut oil and lard. We've demonized them for so long that just people just naturally think this is what clogs our arteries, and it's just not true, folks. It's not true at all.
Well, we're a nation that I think loves to latch on to fear, and all it takes is one person with the loudest, most well-paid spokesperson screaming from a tall building that you know, you're going to die from eating this or that one. That's what we latch on to. Right? To educate yourself is hard. Getting an education is hard. Yeah, people don't want to study. People don't want to go to school. People don't want to do this. So
that's why we have us.
About food? Yeah. I mean, take it from us. I'll talk about the cooking. You talk about the nutrients. But a little bit of education goes a long way, and it'll make your food taste better. It'll make your dishes look better. Everything will be brighter. You'll feel healthier.
And it's better for you. So glad that we busted some of the myths having to do with oil. I'm sure there's a lot more that we can talk about, and we'll do it again one time soon.
Sounds great.
Okay.